Hi, everybody. My name is Ramon Arratia. I'm the Sustainability Director of a company called InterfaceFLOR, which is a company, we sell carpet tiles. We invented this idea of cutting the carpet into 50 by 50 square so it can be easy to install, easy to deinstall. I'd like to share some thoughts on how we're seeing LCA as a very transformative tool for the company. And we're seeing LCA as the next big thing on sustainability. So I'm not going to talk about methodologies, and I'm not going to talk about the detail LCA. I'm going to talk more about the concept, how LCA can be used as a transformative tool to transform industries and sectors. I'll give you some thoughts around how we have been doing that. Let me just tell you one thing about our company. And our company in 1994, we were naive enough to think that we could achieve emission zero. And we went for it. We knew that was impossible, and we went for it. And since then, we've achieved quite a lot at corporate level in terms of reductions. Because when you look for radical sustainability, sometimes when you look for efficiencies and 10% targets, 20% targets, sometimes you operate under the same paradigm and just doing a little bit less bad, and when you go for radical, you open up a new possibility. So I'd like to talk about a little bit about that today. But in the context of the old sustainability, and for me, the old sustainability is what still we are doing today. And the old sustainability is about corporate sustainability, trying to make companies more sustainable, which is wrong. We need to shift from making companies more sustainable to making the products that companies make more sustainable. And I'll give you some thoughts about that. Also, we're moving from this. We have the beauty contest. This is just a beauty contest. It's about a PR contest about which company is more beautiful on sustainability. And we need to move from that towards performance, comparing real performance and real data about products. So moving from the awards, labels, CSR certifications, move to product sustainability and performance. And for us, we're a flooring company, is kilograms of CO2 per square meter, but for other companies or products could be kilograms of CO2 per unit or kilograms of CO2 per kilometer in the case of a car. And then the latest shift that companies need to make is from doing the LCA at product level to do the LCA at systems level. And we'll talk about that later a little bit. This is the LCA of a normal carpet tile. This is just picking the carbon emissions for a carpet tile. For a carpet and for many physical products, the impact is on the raw materials. Most of the impact of all these physical things that you see in this room are embodied already in the raw materials. That means all these chemical reactions, sometimes 90% one reaction, another chemical reaction, 90%, 90, 90, 90. A lot of 90% then makes you at 15% or 20%. The rest is waste. These chemical reactions that use a lot of energy, they use a lot of pressure, which also means energy, create a lot of waste. And that's why most of the impact is in the raw materials. So what the hell are we talking about? Corporate sustainability, which we're only talking about 9% of the impact. We need to handle, we need to manage all the impacts for all the products across the portfolio for companies sell, rather than trying to make the company more sustainable. Obviously, if you sell a machine, if you sell a vacuum cleaner, or you sell a car, most of the impact would be on the use and maintenance phase. But again, that applies the same thinking. And the key of that is redesigning the product. By redesigning one product, you can have a huge impact, either by changing the raw materials or by making this machine more efficient. So I think this is the paradigm, shifting from corporate sustainability to product sustainability, and LCA is the key for that. If you look carefully at what is in a carpet, most of the impact of the carpet across the whole life cycle is just on making one raw material, which is the nylon. And this is what our sustainability program is about. It's about finding alternatives to nylon, making carpet with 100% recycled nylon, making carpet from, reducing nylon by 50%. I'll give you some examples on that later. So this is about moving from the old paradigm. It's about doing good and telling about it to embed sustainability in the product. So sometimes companies patronize their customers with their stories, with their PR, selective stories, and at the end of the day, the best story is just giving to a customer, this is the product. It's 100% recycled, it's low carbon footprint, this is what you're buying. You're not buying all these stories with smiley children and with all these PR stories. You're buying the actual product. And LCA is the key for that, because many companies, they claim in the CR reports, our sustainability is embedded in our DNA. This is a typical phrase that you see in all the CR reports. Well, it's not really embedded in the DNA if it is not embedded in the product, which is the corest thing you can think of in terms of in a company. And what we have seen is that we took this decision to move from corporate sustainability to product sustainability, and we took LCA as a religion that would go through all the departments of the company. And we have seen how transformative it is, because once you start doing LCAs for all your product, the first thing that happens is that the product and innovation teams, they redesign products so they have less impact across the whole life cycle. In our case, finding new raw materials. The second thing that happens, so instead of doing the typical brainstorming of, okay, let's do our product good, and then we say, oh, we eliminate transport or this or that, if you don't do the LCA, you don't know what to focus first. So LCA gives the product team a direction, a focus. The second thing that happens is the supply chain team, instead of selling this 700 questions questionnaire to your suppliers with meaningless boxes to tick, you just say one thing: send me a radical material which reduces the carbon footprint or has 100% recycled content or cuts X impact. It's just one or two things. Marketing, they stop bullshitting and inventing funny labels, and they make communications based on the facts, which is the same thing for the sales guys. Once you print the kilograms of CO2 and all the other environmental impacts on the promotional material, then your sales guys cannot come up with lies, because the actual facts are on the materials. And this happened for the car industry. All the car industry now has to publish in all European countries grams of CO2 per kilometer. So there is no greenwash already there, because you have the facts in all the promotion. Even my mom today knows that 200 grams per kilometer is too bad and 99 is quite good. And the first thing I'd like to address is that the LCA makes the innovation team really focus on the big issues. And we do an LCA for every single product that we make. And one of the main subjects of this innovation team is redesign the product to cut the impact. This is some of the things we've been doing for the past years. The first one is a product that we used to make in 1996, around 20 kilograms of CO2 embodied CO2, sorry, in the product. A typical carpet that we make today is around with 700 grams or virgin nylon is less, is half of that. Now, by focusing on the LCA, we have launched a product with 350 grams of yarn made of 100% recycled yarn, which cuts that footprint to 5.7, almost a factor 4 reduction. That's the power of LCA. It makes your design team come up with products that really can cut the impacts radically. As again, we were saying about the supply chain. What is today? Today, what is the supply chain paradigm? It's about code of conduct, questionnaire, sending the 700 questionnaire to your suppliers, and then audit them. Expensive and very inefficient, because people then they just tick boxes. What is the value of asking suppliers questions like, do you have an environmental policy? Do you sign to the precautionary principle? Blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. It's not transformative. We can just ask one thing. Send me your LCA. Send me your EPD. And then we will make business with you if you come up with a proper innovation that reduces the impact of the thing you are supplying to us by 50%, by 70%. So this is what we're doing now to our suppliers. Cut the fluff and send me an EPD. So we are doing workshops, and we ask PE International to do workshops with our suppliers where we teach them how to do EPDs. We teach them which are the product category rules that they need to follow to provide us with this information. Because our customers, architects, designers, companies that buy our products, they also want to make decisions based on facts. The other one, what happens with the power, sorry, you can make this picture, yeah, sorry. The other one that happens with the LCA is what we call the LCA kills all the greenwash. Because it's easier actually to do marketing based on facts than having to invent funny labels. This is what happens today with the supermarket. You go to a supermarket, and one product will be telling you, I'm carbon neutral, buy from me. Another product, I'm 100% natural, buy from me. Another one, I'm organic, bio in French, buy from me. Which one do you choose? And it's all bullshit. It's all 100% something, because marketing is about the fastest, the biggest. It has to be 100% something to sound good. But maybe, if you don't do the problem is that you don't do the LCA, you don't know which one is the best one. So this is what happens now in our carpet. Now we make EPDs for all our products, and we have this proper conversation with architects, and we say, Mr. Customer, you can choose between this product with this design, 5.7 kilograms of CO2, and this product with other design, 7 or 8 or 20 kilograms of CO2. We're not going to patronize you on what you choose, but at least you have the information to choose. And you are in a much better trusted position. This is what happened in the car industry, and this is what I think is going to happen for all industries, starting with the building industry, which is happening already. The first question is, what is the biggest issue based on LCA? And then you develop this magic metric to address the biggest issue. In the car industry is obviously at use level, and you say grams of CO2 per kilometer, that's the big issue. The second thing you do is top-down, hardcore legislation from Europe based on that magic metric. So you say to the car manufacturers, if you want to do business in Europe, 95 kilograms of CO2 per kilometer on your average portfolio by 2020. Otherwise, you pay a big fine. This is what the EU said. Obviously helped by the French car manufacturer that they had an vested interest because they sell smaller cars. So the Germans weren't happy about that. Then you say, in all the advertising, all the promotions, you have this magic metric. So even my mom can understand what is a good thing or a bad thing. Then company car tax. In France, you have the bonus malus, but in the UK, you also you pay more tax for more CO2 when you have a company car tax. Road tax, the same thing. City tax. In London, you pay congestion charge, but you don't pay if you have less than 99 grams of CO2. So you can imagine how transformative is this magic metric based on LCA, because it can enable a huge amount of legislation that transforms entire industries. The car industry has been disrupted by this thinking. The building industry is being disrupted by this thinking today with the CE and TC350 approach, and other industries will be disrupted the same way. But the real sustainability comes when you don't try to do the LCA at your product level, but you do the LCA at system level. And because making your product with a less environmental impact don't give you a huge competitive advantage. The huge competitive advantage is when you do the LCA of other industries and you try to come up with a substitute for another industry. And I'll give you a very, very stupid example what happened in our industry, carpet. Carpet is installed with glue. So we said, how can we substitute the glue? And we came up with this idea. We came up with a sticker that you put in the corner of 4 tiles, and the 4 tiles stick together but doesn't stick to the floor. And this system, it makes easier to substitute one tile for another one when there is like a coffee spill or some dirt or whatever. And also makes the system easier for being recycled. And effectively, what we're doing now is becoming a glue manufacturer. We are cannibalizing hugely the market share of glues, and we are selling more. And this is what sustainability should be. It should be about selling more, but about selling more by substituting the bad things of other industries. And that's why LCA at system level is so critical because it's the war between sectors. It's the insulation companies cannibalizing the market of the gas companies. So look at which are these adjacent markets where you could come up with innovations to cannibalize and to substitute other products with higher LCA. And I think I'm going to stop here because I've run out of time already. No? It's okay? Okay. This is just, sorry, about the last one, it was going to be the concept of modularity. It's not only about thinking at system level in terms of adjacent markets, but thinking about the system of your product across the whole LCA. And thinking about, making things modular, as in what we make in our carpet, makes things easier to manage during the whole life cycle. Easier to install, easier to deinstall, easier to recycle. If we had the normal roll carpet, we wouldn't be able to take all these impacts, the products back as easy as cutting into squares. So thinking about modularity as a thinking in terms of the whole LCA is critical. By the way, this is Unilever in Netherlands, this office. We just did it last month. And then we take these carpet tiles, we separate the raw materials, because true recycling is not recycling a mobile phone into cement. That's downcycling. It's not very clever. True recycling is when you recycle, separate each of the raw materials, and then recycle each of the raw materials into the same thing. For a carpet is the nylon and the backing. So this is what our machine does. It separates the nylon and the backing, and then we can recycle nylon back into backing. This wouldn't be possible if we hadn't thought about this modular approach, which I think is critical when thinking in terms of LCA as well. Thank you.